Okay, good afternoon. Thanks for stopping in on this snowy Tuesday afternoon in Superior. This program today is one of several in a series, the Environmental Matters webinar series that we're doing 2 a month, and I'll give you the schedule of other ones coming up at the end of this presentation. But for today, this presentation is on rain barrels, basics about rain barrels. I'm Wendy, and I'm with the Environmental Services Division of Public Works with the City of Superior. For this presentation, here's a look at what I'll be including in it. First of all, talking about what is a rain barrel, and then to look at our local environment here of just considering how much rain falls in our area, the benefits of rain barrels, how to set up and get started using a rain barrel, and to show some varieties and accessories, and then to maintain and winterize your rain barrel, and then a few additional resources. So first, what is a rain barrel? It's a system used to collect rainwater off a roof and store it for later use. It's basically a cistern, and it really is, they've been in use for years and years, or centuries and centuries. Throughout time, man has found ways to collect rainwater. It's a valuable resource, a nice renewable resource, falling from the sky, ready to use, and we don't always necessarily want to use it right then, so we can store it for later use. And to look at the weather in Superior, Superior has an average of about 31 inches per year, and in the summer months it's about 3.7 inches. And then in the fall and spring there tend to be less. So anything we can capture of water to use at a later time would be good. And basically rainwater naturally would soak into the ground in areas of pervious surfaces and do the watering of the plants and the watering of our gardens. But with more and more impervious surfaces, and I'll show you some examples coming up, using the rainwater or collecting the rainwater from impervious surfaces gives us a chance to have some available for watering our gardens. And I did want to include this, since this is actually part of our focus for our work here with the city, just talking a little bit about stormwater and stormwater runoff. Stormwater is basically the water that originates during precipitation events, and again it would naturally infiltrate into the soil. And then issues are of concern when there's stormwater runoff. In cities or developed areas, more runoff is generated than in undeveloped conditions due to impervious surfaces. And the rain water, or the rain barrels, will be part of the solution to preventing pollution and preventing some polluted runoff, because it's slowing the water down. It's capturing it and not having it run off your driveway, collecting the leaky oil, collecting more things that might go down into a storm drain, down into a river and lake. So maybe you haven't thought about that for rain barrels, but it does play a role in reducing stormwater runoff. And the roof, here impervious surfaces in towns and areas include the roads, sidewalks, and driveways, but roofs are a surface that can be our friend and be a way for us to collect some water. And to actually calculate how much water falls off a roof, rain falls at about 0.6 gallons per inch, and a 1,000 square foot roof would collect 600 gallons per inch of rain. That's quite a bit of water. In fact, it would not only fill one 55-gallon rain barrel, there'd be an opportunity to collect 10 55-gallon rain barrels from one solid rain. And when the rain is less of a rain, then the one rain barrel can definitely be used to collect some of the water. And then we'll talk about you can have more than one rain barrel too with your home. Here's just a quick map looking, if you look at any town and houses, house after house after house, those are all opportunities to take the water collected off of impervious surfaces, and with the roof being higher up and letting gravity bring the rain down to collect it into your barrel, there's a lot of opportunity for more water. It's a little harder to collect from sidewalks and parking lots and our roads, but the roofs make great opportunities to collect from as an impervious surface. And to really think about it, what if your whole community, what if your whole street would be collecting the rainwater from their roofs? There's a lot of water available. The benefits of a rain barrel, and I have several of them listed here. They are to reduce runoff and basically slow the flow of water from a storm down storm drains, which then go into waterways. It also is just part of water conservation, and we don't know what the summer will bring. We know Lake Superior's water level is lower. We know there's can be weeks without any rain. So conserving water, having it available, is a good opportunity to collect it when it rains, makes it more available when it's not raining. It's also just basically recycling water. Nature does it. The whole water cycle goes on and on and on. And yes, we can get water from our hose hooked up from the house, but this is water just falling from the sky, and it's very good, and we'll talk about why it's so good for your garden. It also reduces peak water demands during summer months. So again, during the days, weeks when it might not rain or barely rain at all, it's giving you a water source. Or in the middle of a hot day when some places, sometimes there's actually a restriction on watering your garden. This, if you have your water sitting in your rain barrel, you have water. It also works great in towns as well as in rural settings. So if you're out in the country, that's great. It allows you to have water available for later use. That's what it's all about. You can collect the rain and use it when you need it and where you need it. You can carry it other places or set up a system to disperse it in other places. And it really does save money. We have a water bill, and if we can reduce how much we use, then that saves us money. For the uses of the rain barrel, you can use it for cleaning, such as a car, bicycle, also rinse down your home, sidewalks, driveway. If you have some muddy boots from being out in the garden, you can use that to rinse it off, and even washing your dog. It's also good for irrigation, watering the vegetable gardens you have planted in your yard, watering the flowers in your yard or plants in your yard or inside your home. So having that is another way, and as well as your lawn. But basically, as a caution, do not use the collected water in a rain barrel for bathing, drinking, cooking, or washing clothes. I can't see it. And here's for the rain barrel collected water. The water itself, plants love it because it's warmer, chlorine-free, it's a soft water, and again, it's free, again, the saving money part, and the plants do love it. They hear treated water that comes in through your pipes. That is a whole different, there's other materials within that, and this is chlorine-free. And then I did put this in here just as for your information. For other uses for collected water, in the Gulf states during the hurricanes of Katrina and Rita, they were trying to find an alternative source of water. So in those catastrophes, they were able to gather water from rain barrels. It also can be a good way to protect your home from fire. So if you're away from any fire department, this gives you some water as a source right there. And then also some places do give homeowners a break in their insurance because of having this extra water available as a water supply. As far as where to get one, you can make your own. It's a great way of upcycling, to pick out different containers to use, and you can use anything from old manufacturing containers, different throwaway garbages, and garbage cans or other things, and as long as they're cleaned out and available, and then you take that container or barrel, make some holes in it, inflow holes. You also need a hole for the spigot and an overflow hole, and then you also need some actual hardware to it of a spigot, a hose, and a screen mesh, and I'll be having some pictures coming up. Rain barrels are also readily available locally during the summer season, the spring-summer season, and garden shops, hardware stores are also great sources. And then there's even a company in Duluth called Barrel Works that's upcycling old wine barrels, and those are another source if you wanted the wooden barrel format. I actually had from Gordy's store, we have our rain barrel that was a former wine barrel, and it sits out in our yard and is great for collecting water. You can also purchase rain barrels readily online, and they're available both completed or as kits. And there is a question here that I see. Someone is asking, are there concerns about watering edible plants from watering off an asphalt roof? And I would say no, but you do. Edible plants, but rinsing the plants, a colleague is saying no, that it's not allowed. To be on the safer side, you can not do that for the health of the plants, but always when having plants outside, to rinse the plants well before eating. Yeah, the water isn't necessarily totally clean coming off roofs. That there can be different animal waste and different things in there. So again, there are restrictions on using the water. For how much a rain barrel would cost, they run in the $50 on up range. There's a whole assortment of styles and shapes and materials. And again, making your own may be a way to save some money. It's also just, again, the aspect that it's a free water source. And to be part of water recycling in your area, rain barrels are a way to do that. Here's a look at a variety of rain barrels. They come in wood, plastic. Some look basically like trash cans. Some look like terracotta pots, barrels. There's a collapsible versions that get larger when the water is in it. And then again, you can reuse containers from food or beverage industries, assorted ones, and then some are even underground cisterns. That's a bigger scale to put that in, but some people have gone that way as a way to collect more and more of the water. Here's an example of kits that are available. That it would have instructions included and all the parts included, and you can put together your own. That was from a company called Rain Reserve. For other parts and accessories, you do need to be aware of having an overflow for your rain barrel when it is raining a lot and that the water capacity of the barrel is exceeded. Then you need a way for the extra water to go someplace. And it's recommended to divert it away from your house foundation, because otherwise you may be getting too much water and could have basement flooding and such. So to put in a hose and make it so it goes further away. Also, another part that's invaluable to your rain barrel is a mesh on top, so that it's screens out debris, litter debris, leaves, different materials, and then also does not allow for mosquitoes to enter through any hole, that you don't want any breeding of mosquitoes to go on with your rain barrel. Another thing is a drain pipe. So here you would be putting this rain barrel at the downspout of your house, and those are pretty rigid materials. So if it would be a shortened up that drain pipe and then have a flexible end, and I have a picture coming up for that, then that allows you to direct the water right to your rain barrel. And then another piece that you might want to add, you can just have a spigot at the end of your rain barrel and collect with the water, remove the water into putting it into a watering can, but you also might want to hook up a nice soaker hose, and then the water in the rain barrel, the regular pressure in the water would come out, go through this hose, and get to water your grass or water nearby plants in a slow manner. Here's an example of the flexible elbows that is just extra accessories that you can find from your hardware store, and that helps to get the water from your roof down into your barrel. Here's an example of someone using the spigot, so not having a hose on it, but just using a watering can, filling it up and doing getting water to then move whether to outside watering plants or indoor plant watering. For more water storage, you can put a rain barrel on every rain downspout in your house. They don't just have to be on one next to the garden. You can be collecting it from more locations. You can also, from one location, join multiple rain barrels together, and the term is daisy chaining. So daisy chain together by just connecting the two, and when one fills up, it goes to the next. When that fills up, it goes to the next. I met a person this weekend who said he has 13 barrels all connected together, and he has plenty of water supply for his yard. There also are larger sizes available. 55-gallon is pretty common, but some people go for a 200 or a 400-gallon depending on their yard and what they're looking for and their price range. And one comment to make here is to always empty the barrels. Use the water in the barrel. If it just sits there and then the water is taking up space in the barrel, then when the next rain comes along, there won't be as much space for the rain to go in. So make sure you can use it around your yard, definitely beyond the location right in front of it. It's a great source for good warm water. The plants like the temperature, the plants definitely like the water. Here's a demonstration of another tip is for increasing the flow from the barrel. If you'd put it up on blocks or bricks, some sort of platform, then that gives a little more gravity, space for gravity to take a roll and have the water come out. And then there also are pumps available that you can get more pressure through hooking up a pump. Also, with the raising up on blocks, that also allows you to have the space to fill your watering can, because if your rain barrel's right on the ground and your spigot's right on the ground, then the watering cans don't fit under that. We learned that right away when we put ours in. Here's some nice examples of what the City of Lincoln, Nebraska has done with rain barrels. They've had some artists decorate them, so people can decorate, and with special paint that's made for if it's on plastic surface, to get that special paint. And you can do it in a decorative fashion, or you can do it to match your house if you don't want it to stick out, to blend in more. And this is also something else that people with rain barrels might be interested. They're called rain chains, and they basically, instead of a downspout container or a tube coming off your house, these are a series of mini containers that are somewhat decorative, and they slow the flow of water off your roof. They're quite aesthetic, little artwork, and in Japan that's what they're used, that they originally didn't have downspouts, and they would use these instead. For some safety for rain barrels, when you do raise it up, you do want to make sure the area is stable. flat level area, and then you can even securely latch the rain barrel because you do not want it to tip over. Water is heavy. Also, another tip, if it's a transparent barrel, if it's a light color, or if you can see through it, you might want to paint it dark because otherwise there might be algae growth inside as the light goes through. Also, as I said before, empty the rain barrel before another rain event. And then the screen plays a critical role in sifting out and not letting stuff come into the barrel, both the leaf litter and then insects that might want to lay eggs. And then again, consider an overflow system, that if the barrel is filled and the water needs to go somewhere, so if you can either link another barrel to it or set up a hose so that it takes the water away from your house. For maintenance of your rain barrel, you want to periodically check for leaks. And then also, if any leaf debris matter has made its way in there, you might need to clean it up. And then you can also, if you keep your gutters cleaner, that will also help for reducing the amount of debris that can enter the rain barrel. You might want to periodically rinse out or scrub it, but virtually there's very low to no maintenance, and they should last for years to come. For winterizing your rain barrel, this little picture has a diagram of a detachable rain hose that you can then hook back to the downspout in a simple manner. But for your rain barrel, you do want to drain it all and then either bring it inside or turn it upside down. And the saying goes, you don't know the value of water until the well is running dry. So having the rain barrel is a great way to have water for later use. A little bit of facts about water. I felt I wanted to include. It takes about 6,800 gallons of water to grow food for a family of 4 for one day. So we are definitely consumers of water. And over 400 million people live in areas with severe water shortages. Your faucets, if they're leaking, can waste about 2,000 gallons of water each year, and 1 in 10 households have a leaky faucet. So water, the whole concept of water, we use it all the time. Our lives depend on it, and rain barrels are one way you can make a positive difference in the use of water. Other things you can do for your yard is to make sure you're planting native plant species. Might want to put in a rain garden as another way of handling rain precipitation events. Don't over fertilize or use pesticides too much, and spread the word and introduce your neighbors to rain barrels. Just by you having a rain barrel outside might trigger a conversation of, oh, what is that? Are you liking it? Are your plants growing more? So different things might come from you making the step into using a rain barrel. Some additional information about rain barrels are at many sites on the internet. Here's a few listed here. And then there also are many videos on YouTube or Vimeo that show the making of a rain barrel if you do wish to go that way and put together one yourself. So to think about or to recognize, are you using one now, or at least come summer when all the snow is gone? Are you using it properly? Were you removing the water from it? Were you using the water so there was more space available for the next rain event to fill it in? And then if you have never used one before, maybe this is the first season you'll participate in having one, and that would be great. And then are you ready to add another one? Perhaps you have one, but maybe you'd like to add another one. We are having a rain barrel as well as compost bin sale through May 24th. So there's the information there for that, and people outside Superior are also welcome to put in orders. So any questions about rain barrels? Others? I was going to link to, there is the Rod Stewart song, but that's just another rain song. Here on this blizzard day, the amount of snow outside, rain actually is much more of a sign of spring, and I'm sure we will be getting some come the next month or so. And here are, as I mentioned, I'll share some of the other webinars that are coming up. We have one on compost coming up on the second Tuesday in May, and then later in May is one on trees, the importance of trees to water. And then there'll be a e-waste and household hazardous waste talk, and one on aquatic invasive species in June. There will be more in the series, so please look at our website and sign in. And everyone who is attending these from Superior, then you're entered into a drawing for a free rain barrel, and we'll do that drawing in June. So every time you attend, you are entered into that drawing. So thank you very much for attending, and have a wonderful summer season and growing season if you are growing gardens and growing plants. Thank you.